What's up, guys? How you doing? Cowboy Crunk here, coming to you from Kabul, Afghanistan. First off, want to hit these like and subscribe buttons so we can get this channel growing. Football season's coming back. I think I've added like 10 subscribers since football season stopped because well, I haven't been doing videos, but we're about to blow this back up. My channel grew last year from 90 to 2,400, or almost at 2,400 now, so help me guys get to that. This is a simulated mock draft. We're going to run a draft. This is called Fan Speak. You can do these yourself. It's no subscription. It's completely free. Fanspeak.com, on the clock. I'm going to do a seven-round full draft for the Cowboys. Of course, we don't have a first-round pick, but you guys will see how it goes. I want to get into this really quick so you can see how this works, and then from there we can set up the live stream where you guys can jump on the live stream. We'll decide, defensive tackle, safety, whatever, and we'll do the picks one by one. So here we go, guys. We're going to do a full 7-round draft. I hope you guys can see the screen. You probably can if you're on your computer. A lot of people use their phone and such, and it may not work as well. What this has is it has a search engine. On the search engine, I usually use the most updated. As you can see here, they're in order. This guy updated his 2 days ago. There's about 20 search engines, and they're put in order of the most recently updated is there. So these updated simulated databases basically are updated by scouts and things such as that, and people that are watching the draft. They go into the database and they can update. Basically, well, you'll see how it works. So here we go. This you can also change your select the team needs, and I'm going to go with classic. I haven't really noticed a difference in the classic or the difficult, so I'm going to go with classic. I already selected the Cowboys. You can select any team, and then you go through and you select your search engine and stuff like that, and we're ready to draft. So here we go. Let's draft, and I will maximize the screen once we get the draft rolling. So, and I hope I don't have any internet problems. We should be okay with if I don't have any internet problems. So the draft has started. You can see there. Hope you guys can see the names. It's rolling through the picks here, 13, 14. It goes really quick. So what this does is it gives us a chance when we get to 58 on the right-hand side over here, it'll show you the picks that are left. TJ Hawkinson's about to get drafted, I think. He's still there at 14. Nobody's picking up tight ends. There he goes. He's gone. Kyler Murray's still sitting there at 17. Some of these, it's not super realistic, but the one thing it does is it gives you an opportunity to see who's going to be there around 58, which is where we pick. So let me slide down here. Let's see. Next round, we'll start the next round. You can take a look in there and see who was picked in the first round, who picked what, but like I said, this really gives you an opportunity to kind of check out the draft and see at 58 who should be available. So we're coming up on our first pick, and let's see who we got left. I'm going to go defensive lineman unless there's a very good safety. And this is what I think we should do. I think we should hold off on Earl Thomas, maybe check the draft, see what happens, and see if somebody else pays him, somebody else pays him. There's not much we can do about it. Right now, also I'll show you here, you got quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. You can click on the position, and what that will do, if you're looking for a quarterback, it'll give you the top quarterbacks remaining in the draft. Top quarterback remaining in the draft is Tyree Jackson out of Buffalo. Will Grier is still there at 88. We're not looking at quarterbacks, so we will slide down to defensive linemen. And I've noticed, I've done about 20 of these. Defensive linemen are going quick, as well as edge rushers. But the top defensive lineman is Renell Wren. Was watching him in the combine. He did. Gerald Willis is actually somebody and Jeffrey Simmons are both those guys I'm very interested in, but I really don't know if they're going to be there at 58. Gerald Willis had some off-the-field issues. He was at Florida or Miami and then transferred, vice versa. But like I said, what this does is it allows you to take a look at these guys open a YouTube page or whatever and go over and search these guys and watch some of their videos or do some background study. That's how I found on the Gerald Willis from Miami that he had some off the field issues. He had a couple fights with his teammates. His freshman or sophomore season, I think it was his freshman season, he hit Jameis Winston so late, out of bounds, so far out of bounds and so hard, they kicked him out of the game. And his coach told him I didn't want him back. So he's got some mental issues, maybe like a Dominican Sue. But anyways, we're going to go with edge rusher. I like Jeffrey Simmons. That's who we're going to go with. But actually, before we do that, also right here on the side, you can check out their stats. It gives their stats, I think, just for their senior year. But it does put it in a second window, so we could check his stats out real quick. And while that's opening, I'm going to go to safety and just see what's available. 53. Oh, wow. Taylor Rapp out of Washington. That's a good pickup right there. Chauncey Gardner's still on the board. I could go safety right now, but that's why I said you could do simulations with this and pretend you don't need a safety. Let's say we got one already at a free agency, and you want to do your draft if you don't need a safety. We do need to address something in free agency. Not having a first round, we've got to do something to get a higher end player that's already proven. With defensive line. The one thing I don't like about going early on that, those guys usually take a couple of years to come in to where they're making an effect. So I'm going to actually because of that scenario, I'm going to take a safety in the first round because those guys a lot of times are very effective their rookie year, where D linemen relatively aren't. So I would prefer to go we signed DeMarcus Lawrence, and then I've got a list of guys in free agency. There's about 4 or 5 that I'm interested in, and I'm going to simulate in this draft that I've gotten one of those defensive linemen. DeMarcus Lawrence is signed, and we've got that taken care of. We don't need too much defensive lineman anymore because that's an amazing safety right there that I can pick up. My selection is made. The draft starts back up. And you have unlimited time if you want to take a look at these guys and check out, like I said, check out the videos, study. It's not going to kick you out of the draft or it's not going to pass you up or anything like that. It's not that. In that way, it's not like the real draft. So in our second pick, coming up, pick number 90. Let me open the screen up a little bit here. All right, I hope you guys can see that a little better. Let's see, 90. We're probably looking at, maybe an edge, maybe a wide receiver. I do have a wide receiver in mind. I'm trying to sell. I hope the Cowboys pick this guy up. I know he's still on the board now. Jalen Hurd. I'm expecting him to go around this pick because he's going to move up the board tremendously. He's usually right there. He's at 217. Jalen Hurd out of Baylor. When I was studying him, I found him on here. I actually saw some other commentary on him. He actually was a running back at Tennessee his sophomore year. He was a candidate for the Heisman, and he didn't want to play running back anymore because he saw what happened with Le'Veon Bell and some other things like that. He wanted to be a wide receiver. He's 6'4", 230 pounds, a big, solid, physical, almost like a small tight end. So he plays the slot, and he does still play running back a little bit for Baylor. He takes about probably 5 to 6 snaps a game, especially on third down and in the red zone. So that's a really good pickup for us. He plays the slot. He plays wide receiver, 6'4", 230 pounds, and he's projected right now at 217, which would be like the 4th round, 5th round, but he's going to go a lot earlier than that. So we'll skip him for now because he'll be there later. That's the only reason I'm not going running back. So that is kind of cheating. But let's go. Let's get us a defensive lineman now, one that we could possibly develop over a few years, and let's see who's available. Jeffrey Simmons is still there. Hey, let's go with that one. That's who I was looking at earlier anyways. Jeffrey Simmons is on our pick. Now we've got our next round, going into the 3rd round. Additionally, when this is over, you will see that it gives you a grade at the end, but the grade is kind of in. They work off of what they think you should pick, which sometimes that's not really. doesn't work out as well as the rest of the draft does. It's still telling us we need a tight end, which I don't think we will go with a tight end now that we've got Jason Witten back. So in some ways, the draft isn't like extremely accurate, but it does allow you to see the windows, where we're picking, and what players, possibly are still available. On this pick, I'm going to try to make this somewhat realistic. Let's see. Jalen Hurd at wide receiver was 217. We got more picks before that. I'm going to get us a backup. Let's see. Offensive tackle. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Wow, 171, and we're at one. So what I'm looking at, he's the number 171 ranked player in the coming out of the draft, and we're picking at 128. So a lot of offensive tackles have gone off the board. You can see other things such as safeties. There's some still around 133 is the first one available. Cornerbacks 148, linebackers 109. There's actually about 3 picks, three picks in front of our actual pick number. So let's see, wide receiver. We're going to address that later. But we probably could get a wide receiver now and be okay, because the wide receivers, you got 105. McCole Hardin, Emmanuel Hall is still on the board. These are some pretty decent wide receivers there in the 3rd round. Let's see. I'm going to go with, let's check the edge real quick. 127. Wow. Okay. Porter Gustin out of USC. That's a guy I was watching in the combine. He had a really, we're going to take that one and we're going to go to the next pick. So like I said, I want to do these live. I'm trying to go through it. I was going to go quick, but actually I'm not going as quick as I wanted to. We're into this is our 2nd pick in the 4th round. And I'm going to go wide receiver. I'm going to go ahead and get Jalen Hurd. I know he's down on the board a little bit, but that's a player I don't want to miss out on. I'm telling you, this guy's going to go in the 2nd round once it comes around. Just like P.J. Hall did last year. He wasn't even invited to the combine. He was supposed to be a 5th, 6th round pick, and that was a player I really wanted, and we're there in Dallas in the 2nd round. They're doing the picks, and P.J. Hall was off the board. He went to Oakland in the 2nd round, and he went pretty early in the 2nd round as well. So there's our 4th pick, which is out of the 4th round. And round 4 is over. We're going into the 5th round. We don't have a 6th round pick, so that round will go really quick. Explain to you guys real quick how this works also. Here at the top, you can see that the actual Cowboys remaining team needs. So this draft board that I'm working on says we need tight end, cornerback, offensive tackle, guard, and center. So it looks like their focus is quite a bit on the offensive line. I don't see any defense there. So this isn't going to give me a really good grade, but it serves the purpose I want it for, which is to allow me to pick the players and see the windows where they are in our picks. So I want to hurry up and get this done. Dennis Daly, William Sweet, Isaiah Prince out of Ohio State. Good size offensive lineman. We've made our pick. We go into the 6th round. The draft is rolling. So like I said, I want to do these live. The live stream will be much more entertaining. We'll have a good time doing those. You guys can have influence and see where the picks go. We can decide to pick defensive linemen first. We can look at best available. We can look at who's still on the board. And this is going to change dramatically after the combine, because once they update this search engine for the combine, it will be a lot more accurate as far as all the guys that take care of this and work on this, are at the combine this week. So give it Wednesday, Thursday. Combine numbers will be in. They'll have time to take some downtime, spend some time with their families, and they'll get these boards updated, and they will be more accurate. All right, we're in the 6th round. No selections here. 6th round is almost over. There we go. And last round, we'll see what our last pick is. There we go. I hope you guys can see that. I know the Super Bowl trophy's blocking part of it, but here we go. Our pick is coming up. And it'll let you know when we're on the clock. I've got it zoomed in right now. Normally you can see it'll put a little green icon at the top there, and it says you're on the clock. You guys can see that. 7th round, you're on the clock. Let's see what's available. We got, this is all. If you click on all, it shows all the players again. The Terry Goodwin, linebacker. I'm going to go with a linebacker, and the reason I like going with linebackers is because they're very, very versatile usually. You can use them on special teams, kick return, kick off, and those things. And linebackers are always a good value, and they can be used in different areas. So with the last pick, I'm going to go Cameron Smith out of USC again. I picked a couple USC guys today. There we go. So that's our draft, guys. That ends the video here, and I want to do some of these live stream, and we can discuss them and talk about the positions and go through it one by one. And so you guys will be able to study the most accurate players that we have a possibility and a chance to get. There's no reason to study, top 10 draft picks or first rounders or guys that are going to go in the first round. And some of us don't know who those guys are. I don't watch a lot of college football because I completely engulf myself in NFL football. So here's the end of our draft. I completely engulf myself in football during the regular season, and I don't have time for college. I watch too much NFL. So we got a safety, a defensive lineman, an edge rusher, a wide receiver, offensive tackle, and a linebacker. Those were our selections. And it, like I said, it shows you here we didn't draft a tight end. That's what it was wanting us to do. So safety we covered. If that safety's there at our first pick, I'll really be surprised. Taylor Rapp out of Washington is going to be a bad safety, bro. And if we can pick him up in the second round, that'd be great. As well as Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons would be an amazing pickup in our third round. So there we go, guys. That's how it goes. This is Cowboy Crunk coming to you from Kabul, Afghanistan. I will be hitting the live shows, doing these videos, and I hope to see you there. Like and subscribe to the channel. Get this channel growing. Let's do our Cowboys thing. Cowboys for life. Peace. Cowboy Crunk's out.